When it comes to embracing equity for International Women's Day, it's trying to understand that rather than having policies that say everyone should come in, by focusing and targeting specifically women, we're allowing more change and more women to say, okay, this is for me, I'm actually being called up, and they're going to step more forward in that way.
I've been to enough events over the years about how to empower women, and one of the regular messages, what can women do themselves to put themselves on the front foot? You have a masterclass to encourage women to invest, to think about their financial future. What do you think women need to be doing now over the next 12 months?
I think understanding the sort of limitations that we might have and understanding where it comes from. If you think about your first idea of money or your first relationship with money, the first conversation you had about money with your parents, sometimes those are negative conversations, and understanding that just because we had those experiences doesn't mean we're naturally bad at money or it's not something we can learn. I like to often think it's like a muscle, it's like going to the gym. We might not be great at the start, but practice and learning over time can get us there.
But that's for men and women, the problems at the start of the investing journey and the investing understanding and experience. What I want to know is meaningfully what needs to be done that starts a differentiation so that actually women can feel that they're equal. Because at the moment, we've talked a lot about STEM over the years as well, and how girls don't do STEM. Well, that's nonsense for a start. I mean, I think your daughters have proved that for a start. I don't know about mine, but then my son's doesn't understand it either. But in terms of what can be positively done to encourage women to say, okay, we can do this and we've got as equal chance as any of the men, if not better?
I think representation, probably what we see the most in our communities, in our podcasts and online and in events that we do. When people say, I started investing, we ask them, well, why? What was the catalyst that allowed you to? And it's often, oh, I saw someone that looked like me that was doing it. I saw someone on TV that was a woman talking about investing, or my mother invests. And so by seeing someone that looks like you or sounds like you doing something in an area that you didn't think was for you seems to be really powerful.
Does it start at home? Like some form of patriarchy where the man does the finances and the wife does the husbandry or something? Is that where it starts, rather than actually in the workplace?
I think to a degree, if we go back to, the relationships we had with money as children, you can start to unravel, why do I think it's just for dad to do? Is it because mum didn't do it at home? And is that something I have to change in my own households?
Yeah.
Which is ironic, because home economics was about balancing the budget in the home, ironically, and I would have said traditionally, particularly in blue-collar communities, the women actually did the budgeting, and the men may have brought home the money, but the women organised how it was actually spent and allocated. Have things changed?
We've found that studies have shown, at least in the US, only 2% of women lead the households in terms of the investment decisions. So while women still make budget decisions, the sort of growing your wealth aspect has still kind of fallen onto, the man and the family.
What's happening with the younger generation? Because, I mean, we've been talking about our daughters and about how they're doing. And it seems to me, maybe we're just lucky, but they, probably has something to do with having parents that work in the financial sector, in a sense, that helps them. But what are you seeing with millennials and then with the Gen Zs who are coming through? Are they more savvy? Because they're growing up in a world where you've got cryptocurrency interest, there's been all this interest in meme stocks, as it were. They do seem to be much more connected to the digital world of finance. Has that made any difference to the trends in terms of women and girls embracing this ideal rather than just men and boys?
Absolutely. I think there's more access available, and so the barrier to access, one, to investing your money, but also to financial information has become more easier if you have an internet connection or if you can go to a library. Those are things that not everyone had the ability to do, even 10 years ago.
Can I ask you a quick question about that then? The gamification of markets is something we've bemoaned on this channel as well, and actually it's all become another computer game. Now, bear in mind, gaming historically has been seen as, dare I say it, a male-dominated area. I know there's been strides made there. So has the gamification of the access to markets actually worked again against women? Because, of course, historically, gaming is been a kind of a boys' and men's preserve.
I think in certain areas like NFTs and crypto, absolutely, we don't see as many women in that space, and I do believe it is for that same reason. It doesn't feel like a space where they can go, oh, I really relate, or I can understand what's going on. The jargon again holds them back, and so we're definitely seeing those kind of trends.
So I can ask you quickly too about the amount of risk women are willing to take on when it comes to investing, because there is a view out there that women are not as prone to taking as much risk. But does that hold
Kathy
them back
would.
early on? Well, that's
Takes
one woman,
one or
but
two
does it
risks.
hold them back, early on, especially when you're meant to take more risk in the investing journey?
I don't believe women take less risk. I think women are risk aware rather than risk adverse. When you explain to young women, this is what investing is, this is what the jargon is, they do take on those investments. It's just they want to know what they're jumping into before they jump in. It's not that they're risk adverse, just aware.
That's
Makes
a good
sense,
thing, I
doesn't
think. That's what we're trying to tell people to do for years on this channel. I don't know if we succeeded or not. Nice to see you.
Thank you for
And
having
you
me.
addressed Parliament this week, did you?
Yes, I did.
Fantastic.